Hello Aries, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the energies and predictions for the sign of Aries for the week of November 10th. Do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and feel free to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right. Aries, let's go ahead and get into this reading here for you. We'll be taking a look at this week ahead. Timeline on this reading will be from November 10th to the 16th. Do hope that your month of November has been off to a good start. But with that said, let's go ahead and get all of these cards out here, get everything set up and in view, and then we'll get right into it for you. All right. Cool. And I think that's looking just about good enough to meet. Energy on the bottom. You have the King of Pentacles. All right. So with the King of Pentacles, you may be taking a look at your habits and routines in this week ahead. This person has gotten to their throne by having really solid habits and routines, and this has made them a wealthy person. As you see, they have the crown on their head. They're on the golden throne. In other interpretations of the card, they'll be surrounded by abundance, such as fruit, trees, and not only that, but this is a really practical person and hardworking person as well. So some of you here are looking at those types of things. Now, the King of Pentacles can also show up as a person in your life as well when you get this card. So this could be an earth sign, but this could just be somebody who has kind of those qualities about them. And I'm getting something about like leading by example here, Aries, that's coming into my mind as I look at this. Yeah, something about like leading by example, as kings can be a call to leadership in the tarot as well. So let's see if we can get some more details on this. You have a really nice set of cards here. I gotta say, the series that I'm doing here for this week is really nice for just about every sign so far. And yours is no different. So I definitely like what is going on here. Let's go ahead and let's just dive right in. So right away in the middle here, Aries, you have the Four of Wands. This is potentially talking about stability in your life. This is a card of marriage as well, marriage, union. You can see the young family here got married on the card. And with that, it can be associated with ceremonies. But I actually think that there's something about stability here that is probably more in alignment with this reading, as obviously now everyone's getting married, and I don't really see any other indicators of that here, okay? Now, some of you may be facing a dilemma around a long-term partnership that you're in, you know, a long-term romantic partnership, maybe even a business partnership as well, as we have a number of pentacles and wands cards here. So there may be a bit of a dilemma that some of you are experiencing in a long-term, you know, partnership that you're in. But with the King of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, there's something about stability here. It may be of a financial nature. I certainly don't see loss here going on. So it may mean that you're like thinking about a purchase, or you're thinking about an agreement that you want to sign into as well. There could be something around agreements here that want to show up with the Four of Wands and the King of Pentacles, as well as the Page, which we're going to get into. I would also say that there is... I lost it. What I'll say is this is not the only four that you have, right? You have double fours, you have Four of Swords, Four of Wands. That four is a number of stability. And I would say that there is something here that you are not exactly seeing, okay? Because there is like a surprise element to this reading. I'm just going to go ahead and get to the first column, and I'll try to explain this to you here. You have the Two of Swords, the World, and the Ace of Pentacles. So this first column here is the past, okay? It's the past. And in this weekly reading, we're looking at the past here for this first column. And I say that there's something that you're not seeing here because, as you notice, the person on the Two of Swords card is wearing a blindfold, okay? It's obviously hindering their ability to see ahead or to see something. Now, this can also represent a dilemma in your life or having a tough or difficult choice to make, something that's not exactly easy, a tough choice. You may be in the middle of a dispute between two parties or two people. You may be in the middle of something as well. This is also maybe saying that you have something to say to someone, but you're having a hard time finding the words to say to that person. Now, this is not the only card indicating that you're not seeing something. There's also the Tower. But the good news here is that, and this is in a diagonal, by the way, which is a direction that you're headed, okay? But the good news here is that there is clarity of vision. There is clarity of sight in this reading, and I do think that you will see it here in the future. Now, remember that this week is on the 9th, we have the last Mercury retrograde that starts of the year, right? Last retrograde of the year. It starts on the 9th. It'll be about 3 weeks. And then on the 11th is the Jupiter retrograde. So two retrogrades really are activated pretty heavily here in this week that we're looking at. Now, this isn't going to be, I'm purposely trying to make these readings not about the retrograde. But this is a time, retrogrades are a time where you can indeed do whatever you, all of your normal stuff, right? It just may mean that like things are a little bit delayed or, it takes a little bit longer, a couple extra steps, that sort of thing. But this is also a time where you're going to be doing like anything that starts with an RE. So like rest, recovery, rejuvenate. These sorts of words here can crop up during a retrograde. And I think that your inability to see right now is going to be solved or worked through by taking a step back, pumping the brakes a little bit here on something, okay? And I think that this is actually the perfect time to, at the very least, have be introspective about what you want or what it is right now, Aries, that you may be missing. This could actually be a perfect time for you to think on that. Okay? Now, you're not going to spend the whole 3 weeks, the whole month here thinking, but, extra time, if you can find a little bit of extra time to do that, it could actually be quite helpful. Now, I love that you have the World and the Ace of Pentacles here as well in the past. So despite being a little unsure or, maybe facing a dilemma, you have very clearly completed something important when you have the World here in the past. You've achieved some level of success with the World. And there's something that you can sort of be proud of when you get the World card. You can kind of see that there's like a trophy on this World card. And yeah, it can really signify the completion of something major. This may have taken a long time, as the World is the final card in the Major Arcana. It's also associated with Saturn. And Saturn is a slow-moving planet, so Saturn takes its time, right? And so you clearly have achieved some victory here, and you've planted a new seed here in the past, which is nice. With the Ace of Pentacles, it can indicate fresh starts or something new connected to your money situation. Let's take a look at this middle column. You have the Four of Swords, the Four of Wands, and the Page of Wands. Yeah, I mean, what you're really craving is a bit of rest and stability at this time. You may have been, like, I see that you've achieved a major milestone here with the World in the past, and you may be in this period of time where you're not as active, like, because you have kind of achieved something. Like, you're not as active as you may be used to being, And so, actually, I don't think that's the worst thing here based on this reading, because it seems like you want a little bit of space, okay? And, I'm getting this really mundane, basic phrase in my mind, but, this idea of, like, good things take time, right? It's coming into my mind. With the Ace of Pentacles, it's the seed, planting the seed of the Ace of Pentacles takes a long time for it to mature and grow into the Ten of Pentacles, right? There's something here that you're looking at the long game right now. You're looking at the long game here, okay, that I think is kind of showing up for you in this week ahead, for you to, at the very least, give some, like, mental energy towards. And I think that you'll feel really good around getting clarity of vision here on, tying up loose ends. I think also, if there are any loose ends that you need to tie up, while it may have been better to do that prior to this week, it's still okay. Like you can still do it despite the astrology as well. And I think that I see that you may be doing that here. I think tying up loose ends is going to also create a sense of stability, which is probably what you're craving right now. Lastly, here you have this page of wands, which it can talk about offers and opportunities. I love this for job seekers usually, as wands connects to your career or your work in a certain way. So you always love to see the page of wands. This could also be, if you're not working, this could be an exciting opportunity that shows up in your life. Just something that's exciting, something that you're passionate about, something that you're looking forward to as well. You may be having exciting conversations as well in this week ahead. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the final column here. You have the Eight of Cups, the Two of Wands, and the Tower. So here's the part where you will actually see, now this is the future column here, the final column is the future column. Here's where you actually get the clarity of vision, okay, in this week ahead. You actually get it. And it's found through the Eight of Cups and, yes, the Tower as well, okay? The Eight of Cups here, this is a card that indicates walking away from a disappointing situation, okay? So you are very clearly seeing what is not working for you, right? Right? Like in the past, and maybe like as we look at this week, you're a little unsure here with the Two of Swords, but what you know you do want is you want rest, you want stability. In the future, you will have achieved this ability to see exactly what is not working, and you will make the choice to let go of those things. All right, so here's where the clarity of vision is coming in here with this Eight of Cups, right? And I love the Eight of Cups because this person's deciding in a certain way to be better or to, if nothing else, take a step towards a better timeline for themselves. Hopefully. And along with that here, you have the Tower, which is a shock. It is a surprise. And this is like where there's maybe something that you're not seeing. But the thing that the Tower does that the Two of Swords doesn't is it suggests that there's a truth, or I should say like the realization of a false belief. Okay, you're seeing something that actually is not working for you. Okay, it also may suggest that you are having an event or something like this that happens in your life where you're free from it, right? So like if you felt trapped in something, there may be something that goes on where you feel like free, okay? But this can bring about a surprise element. But again, this is the exposure of some sort of false belief in your life, something that actually is indeed not true for you, you know? And that can be also in and of itself a freeing feeling, right? It can take a little bit of time to sort of integrate that in to your life, but yeah, so you can kind of view the Tower as a gift, right? Albeit a maybe challenging one. You have here the Two of Wands as well, which is about potential in front of you, right? It says you have great potential in the path in front of you, and yes, you have a choice to make as well. And here's where like it gets a little sticky for you because you are a little like with the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands, you've kind of been unable to see, right? But as you notice with the Two of Wands person, the paths are very clearly in front of them. So again, this is where I'm thinking for you in the future, you are definitely very clearly seeing what you previously could not see, okay? And that you may have struggled with here. This may involve stability in some way. This may involve a relationship in some way. This may involve a career in some way as you have the Page of Wands. What we're going to do is we're going to find out now. We're going to try to get some answers on all of those questions here. We're going to move into the clarifications portion of this reading. I'll pull some oracle cards, and then I'll also pull some tarot cards for you. So let's see what we have here. Okay. All right. Energy on the bottom. You have there's something better. Yeah. And I think you know that. Okay. I think that this is already something that you're aware of as I look at the Two of Swords and the Eight of Cups and the Tower. And sometimes, you know, we have different events or yeah, different events in life that happen that expose that for us, that there is something better, which is, in this case, I think the Tower. You have look for a sign, unlikely, and romance. All right, the universe is definitely supporting you here at this time. Look for a sign, okay? This could be anything, repeating numbers, dreams, overhearing conversations that have an interesting message in them. When you're in line at Starbucks or whatever, you're not snooping, you're just there, and you can hear the conversation, right? Within the next few within the next few months, it's up to you and perfect timing. Okay, so the ball is in your court here. It's up to you. Again, with the Eight of Cups person, the ball is in their court, and they are deciding to go in a certain direction, right? So I like this for you. It does suggest that you've got some divine timing here with perfect timing. Let's get some more answers for you here, Aries. We can go ahead and pull some tarot cards for you. Now, I do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I do hope things are going well for you, Aries. And yeah, let's see what we have here. All right. Let me know how you're enjoying this weekly reading here. Go ahead and split the deck, and then we'll get right into it. Okay, you have the Page of Swords. You have the King of Cups, and you have the Death card. All right. There was a conversation that sort of spun you out in a certain way in the past. And what I mean by that is, like, with the Page of Swords and the Two of Swords, like, this can be difficult communication, right? It's very clear to me as the reader that there was a tricky conversation in the past. And more so, there was no solution. Like, you walked away from that conversation without an answer with the Page of Swords and the Two of Swords. And you're now sort of like trying to figure out what to do with this, okay? You may have also realized that there was a delay in some sort of process as well with the Page of Swords. And this has been, I think, part of the challenge for you as I look at this reading, okay? Realizing that something has to wait. And remember, I always say, like, as I look at this perfect timing card, you can't hack divine timing, right? Divine timing just is. It will happen when it happens. And that's not always what you want to hear, and I know that. But that doesn't mean you haven't continued doing your work. In fact, quite the opposite. It seems like you are pushing along, you are trucking along here as I look at the Four of Wands, the King of Pentacles, the Page of Wands. So, you're making the most of the situation, but in fact, there was a conversation where there was no answer to it, and it was maybe a little bit tricky. With the King of Cups, this is somebody who is, tranquil. I feel like with the World and the King of Cups, I get a sense that you completed something here in the past, and this has really provided you with some, like, you felt at ease knowing that you finished something up. Or you wrapped something up here in the past. Okay, the King of Cups is in a state of ease, in a state of calm, as all of the waves are crashing by them. And there was quite a bit. There was quite an achievement that you have created for yourself here in the past. And this, I think, it felt like it has taken a weight off your shoulders. I think. Based on this reading. With the Death card, this is a significant change or transformation that's happening to you. Again, this is not an inherently negative card, especially as you have the Ace of Pentacles with it. There's some new path here that is showing in the reading through the Ace of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. Definitely. You have the Six of Swords, which represents transition. You have the Eight of Pentacles, and you have the Three of Pentacles. Okay. Wow. Yes, so I will say that I definitely got a confirmation of what I just suggested, which is you are absolutely trucking along. Okay? This is a reading here where there's something going on in the background for you in your life. Like two things here are true at the same time. Multiple things here are actually true at the same time, which is there's something looming here around a delay, around a conversation that you didn't get an answer to, and at the same time, you've achieved something with the King of Cups in the World, and it looks like you're really building on top of that. okay? Because you've got two cards of building here. You can see the mallet actually in these two tarot cards with the Three of Pentacles here and the Eight of Pentacles here. These are builder cards, talent cards, skill cards, abilities cards, and particularly the Eight of Pentacles is a card of deep skill and ability. But the Eight of Pentacles also is about dedication, okay? Dedication to a task. This can mean that you're making good progress forward in your career, which is what I see you doing. And what I would say is if you're concerned about stability in the career, the cards are suggesting that you should maybe not worry so much about that, right? I know it's easier said than done, but the cards are saying that actually you have really created some stability for yourself. And on top of that, you are showing up in a positive light here in the cards as it relates to the people who you work with. Okay, the people around you, you're showing up in a positive light. Okay, because you have the Page of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is your colleagues, is the people you work with. Okay, this person's also a builder. Both of these cards can suggest you're making good movement or progress on a project or something generally in work. But the Three of Pentacles is your colleagues, and you are maybe even receiving an offer, you know, maybe from another company or something like this here with the Page of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. But like the cards are saying, don't stress so much about stability here because you've taken the right actions, it seems like, up to this point, right? With the Six of Swords, yeah, I mean, this is, you know, going through rites of passages, going to new places, making transitions in life, these sorts of things. And with the Death card and the Four of Swords, you know, this may be on the horizon, so to speak, for you here. Now, you have the Three of Wands, you have the High Priestess, and you have the Eight of Wands. Wow. All right, so we see that you have the Two of Wands into the Three of Wands and the Four of Wands, actually. So you have 2, 3, 4. I always like to see that. They're not really sequential, but I like to see it because to me it means you're making progress. Once again, this is like a theme in the reading. You are certainly not letting whatever's going on over here put you back in any way. It's just something that I think you're having to deal with, such as life, right? The High Priestess is... it can mean that there's something hidden right now. And I think that this, as I suggested, this is another confirmation that that's not going to be the case here for you in the future, okay? You're very clearly going to get some foresight or some clarity on an answer to something, which I see you did not previously have, and this has been stressful with the Two of Swords and the Page of Swords. You're getting an answer here. It's coming up in the future, okay? It's showing up in the future column, not in the current column. Right now, the guidance is like what you're doing is working. It's really working, okay? And you know, if there's a transition that needs to be made in the future, that's a future problem, you know? And whatever's going on here around not being able to see something, it is showing up in the future as you getting some clarity around that, okay? And the Three of Wands, you know, as you let go of something, which I see you doing here in the future, as you walk away from something, this will be a massive opportunity to grow and expand in your life. With that Three of Wands, even to maybe even going on some type of adventure, as you have the World, which can be around international travel or international experiences. The Eight of Wands can be associated with airplanes or travel by air, and then the Three of Wands is a travel card as well. You know, you may be going on an adventure here in the future, so to speak. But with the Eight of Wands in the Tower, it does suggest that in the future here, there will be a pretty quick event that happens for you that will be enlightening. Okay, it will be enlightening and it will expose exactly what you need to see. Okay, this may be coming in the form of a this will be like a phone call, a text message, a letter, email, social media post, anything like that. With the Eight of Wands in the Tower, just when you least expect it, right? Because of that combination of cards. You have the Five of Swords on the bottom. Okay, so that can indicate a temporary defeat, which I actually see is connecting here to this Page of Swords and the Two of Swords. Let's see what the Kipper energies have for you here, Aries. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we have here. You do have main female, courtship, another 4, interestingly enough. you have the Distant Horizons card, Mature Man, Message of Concern, and Message. Yeah, Message of Concern and Message, not surprised to see that. There's very clearly communication coming in here for you in the future with the Eight of Wands in the Tower. This will surprise you, okay? This is not to make you paranoid, okay? This is, the cards are suggesting that this is going to work out. And the communication is about something that you need to see, you need to hear, okay? And this will actually this will make you feel lighter, okay? This will be an enlightening piece of communication for you. And I think that you already know what I'm talking about because here you didn't get a resolution to it in the past. So you know what I'm talking about. However that is for your situation. Courtship, somebody is definitely interested in hiring you or bringing you on or something like that. Yeah, with toil and labor and courtship. Yeah, I would say so. As you have the Three of Pentacles and the Page of Wands, probably someone, it would obviously, I think it would be within the industry you currently work in. It may even be through someone you know at another company or organization. That would all make sense to me, but I think you can see this person's in a stressful pose here. Very clearly you're concerned about this. The cards are, the main guidance here is like what you're doing now is working, okay? And there are some things that we cannot anticipate in life, you know? So this is actually where I'm going to leave you here. You do have main male and main female. That is a counterpart in the tarot. So it could be a partnership and alliance. It could be a relationship message. But this is where I'm going to leave you. Thank you so much for being here, Aries. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will certainly be talking to you again soon.